Video made at Rollideo.com. Creating a video is now extremely easy with Rollideo. Here are some quotes from the Forbes article. The Rings of Power has a Galadriel problem. Galadriel has virtually no emotional range. Galadriel wears, almost exclusively, various shades of scowl, perhaps the occasional glower or puzzlement, but mostly she just frowns and glares at people, either in gritty determination or impatience and frustration. I think many of the criticisms leveled at this version of Galadriel have missed the mark. She is not a Mary Sue as some have claimed. She's far too unlikable to be a Mary Sue, for one thing. And her character is much too old and experienced to qualify. Mary Sues, by definition, are characters who are good at everything despite not having the training or experience required for such mastery. I also don't care that she's portrayed as a warrior and has skill with a sword. Sure, we don't see that in The Lord of the Rings, but by then she's close to 10,000 years old. She's fought against Morgoth and Sauron. It stands to reason she's picked up some skills with a blade, and probably a bunch of other weapons. Unfortunately, in the Rings of Power it appears Galadriel has not picked up any people skills, despite being several thousand years old at this point. She acts like a petulant teenager, so much so that Elendil actually tells her she reminds him of his children. I have to sadly admit that I think the casting choice here was a mistake. I like most of the cast at this point, but Galadriel is a weak link, and while I'm sure Morfydd Clark is a fine actor, she just isn't convincing as Galadriel. Sure, much of this is the writing, and maybe if her character were written better I wouldn't notice as much, but she just doesn't come across as a believable Galadriel to me at all, even a younger, brasher version. With Galadriel set up as the show's primary protagonist and 5 seasons planned, I admit I'm starting to worry. I'm concerned that Galadriel will sink the ship if major changes aren't made to her character, and it might simply be too late for that. A massively expensive, beautifully shot TV show is slipping because despite all that money, the writing quality just isn't there. The slow motion scene was so jarring. Galadriel is always very stony-faced in the show, and then suddenly we have this agonizingly long shot of her grinning ear to pointy ear. The problem is more about how they've written her to be so headstrong and brash that she lacks other basic social skills like diplomacy, patience and so forth, that could make her feel like a more well-rounded and convincing character. Let's see some comments on Reddit. I think a lot of criticism like this overlooks the fact that we have not seen all the episodes. We need to keep in mind that there has to be plenty of room for character development, Galadriel included. What we see now is likely to change as we near later seasons. Oh, just wait, we'll fix her character later, and we'll just call it character development. But this isn't the way it works. It's just bad writing. They've created an insufferable Galadriel, and I guess they'll just fix the writing that comes later, and she'll come off as less insufferable? I think it'll be interesting to see how she develops over 5 seasons. I'm betting we see some kind of transformation from the hasty, arrogant version of her into the wise Cate Blanchett version from the movies. I'm on episode 4, gonna hang up at this point. Too one-dimensional, the writing and maybe also the actor. Writing is so bad you gotta cut her slack, but her face is certainly immobile. Also, other stuff irks me, nothing feels authentic. I want to forget I am watching a show and lose myself in it. Isn't that the point of world building? Seriously, I don't get this 5 seasons argument. A rational person don't watch a TV committing to 50 hours. A character should be appealing from the beginning even with the flaws. A character arc is only as good as its beginning. My biggest problems with the show so far have been her scenes. It's not just the script, or the character, it's her portrayal. Her weird expressions, her blank stares, the glazed looks, the angry chipmunk sneers. They're constantly breaking my immersion and making me do double takes in utter befuddlement. That scene on the horse was especially terrible. She looked like a wax figure of herself, or like they filmed the scene with a 50-year-old double. Why would you choose that over-the-top caricature? Why force a Joker smile when a simple subtle look of enjoyment would sell this scene so much better? Video made at Rollideo.com. Rollideo is a super easy tool to automatically create videos with auto-generated voiceovers and the exact subtitles. Thanks for watching.